Hello, this is Joseph and Train, and welcome to a new episode of Home of Sound. Home of Sound is the virtual and global home for any music lover to connect, learn, and engage with the electronic music community. We started the platform with this very podcast series to discover and share insights into the life, work, and tools of producers, DJs, VJs, promoters, label owners, playlist curators, and other creators. Since the global pandemic hit, we launched a series of online masterclasses with creators such as Ansom, Scarameria, François X, Swarm Intelligence, Freddie K, Face Fatale, Vijay Martinovna, Malika Maria, Lag, VSK, Romek, Manny D, Arjun Bagale, and many, many more. If you're interested in the masterclasses, you can access any of them, also in bundles, on demand at www.homeofsound.co.uk. To say hi, connect with us, suggest new guests, leave feedback, and see what else we're up to, you can find us on Instagram at home_of_sound. And for all the other links, visit linktr.ee/home_of_sound. And now, let's start with today's guest. Enjoy! Christoph Heinze, better known as Inhalt der Nacht, joins Home of Sound for a podcast interview. Berlin-born, his sound has been shaped by influences from cold wave and new wave, blended seamlessly with elements of rock music that he was exposed to in his younger days. Having already established his name as one of the freshest DJs and producers of his genre, Christoph started his own label Lebendig in 2017 to support music by fellow like-minded artists alongside his own. 2019 saw Christoph's track Dosis spread to the underground scene of Berlin like wildfire, after it appeared on the compilation album The World of Monom Black by Dax J. Christoph's eminence nowadays has granted him residency to some of the most active clubs such as Griessmühle in Berlin, Khidi in Tbilisi, Georgia, and Sonne in Munich. In this chat, Christoph talks us through his experiences playing and producing techno and also his experimental exploration with theater scoring started in Havana, Cuba. We delve into Christoph's past, recounting his first experiences with the underground scene, as well as the music that influenced him and provided the foundation to his raw and unbound sound that we know today. We also look at labels and how artists can be nurtured around these platforms, and we get first-hand insights into how he became resident of Sonne, Griessmühle, and Khidi. And we finally get a sense of the ever-evolving drive of its artist toward fresh and unconventional sounds. Enjoy the next chat with Inhalt der Nacht. Chris, thanks for being with us. It's a pleasure to meet you and to have you here.
Thank you, man. I'm happy to be with some people finally around. I mean,
exactly.
Even if it's digital.
Even if it's virtual. And we were just talking that we both have our hair growing super wild now.
Yeah.
And there's
getting punky, you know?
Getting punky, exactly. We don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And Christoph, for people who don't know you, if someone meets you at a cocktail party or a house party and they ask you the usual question, what do you do? How would you reply?
I would say hey, I'm enjoying my drink, my beer, and enjoying the party. So what do you do?
It's a great way to bounce back the question. Eh?
Yeah. I mean, I really don't like to, start a new talk with people I don't know with directly hey, I'm Inhalt der Nacht and making music and stuff like this. I'm more a fan when people treat me like I'm just Christoph, and I'm doing music, and that's everything what they should know.
Yeah. And also it feels like it brings some prejudice. Maybe it's a good prejudice if they like your music, if they know you already, if you say who you are as an artist, they stop. They don't meet you as a person first. They think about you as the DJ, the artist.
Yeah, that's really, I mean, at one point for sure, I really enjoy to see how many people know me already from my music side, but I don't know. I think I can't handle it so much that too many people know me and everything. So that's why I try to keep myself as normal as I can. And also, like yesterday, I had a situation when I did go to the Edeka to buy some food. There was someone who asked me like, "Hey, I know you, but from where?" And then she comes to the point that you are Inhalt der Nacht. And in this situation, I always try to make jokes, like to make the situation not so serious. And
like, no, it's not me. You're mistaken.
Yeah, it's my twin brother. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I don't listen to techno, man. I listen to Nirvana, rock music,
I think it makes it more fun, and then you get the chance to speak with people like more naturally. You connect with them as a person.
Yeah, and it's also much easier for me, because I mean, I'm totally lucky that I can make a living out of my hobby. But I don't want to make it too serious, I don't want to. I always want to keep the fun in it, always keeping, always not seeing it so much as a job, because when it becomes a job for me only, it will be a little bit boring, and I think I will lose the relationship to it.
Yeah, because it becomes then like it's almost like someone is putting you in a box that you need to react to that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm also doing this music job because I want to be free. I don't want to be part of a big company and something like this. I just want to enjoy my freedom and want to make music and enjoy music and stuff like this. So this is what I always try to keep in it.
Yeah. Do you find that like the fact that now you have a brand and people ask for your music, they ask you to play gigs, they ask you to release on their labels, do you find that sometimes that is limiting for you because you feel like someone is trying to impose something on your creation?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it gives always two sides of those meetings. When you meet people who ask you if you want to play on their parties or release on their labels or making a podcast or whatever, sometimes you really feel that they're not interested in what you're doing. They're more interested in, oh wow, he has like 50K followers on Instagram. Maybe we can push our page with his brand or whatever. Yeah.
Or community.
Yeah, but I think after all the years I'm doing this now, I have a good feeling for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always feel when it is a real connection or when it's just like on business space or whatever.
Yeah. And you've been in music for a long time now. And for background, like I think I have realized that you had another alias called Escape from Mars.
Escape to Mars.
Escape to Mars, okay.
Yeah.
And I think the track that made me find you as an artist was called Moments in Space, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It came out in 2017 as this kind of loopy vocal or like sample of a woman, I think, speaking.
Yeah.
And I didn't connect that was you. So do you think so if you think about your Escape to Mars and now your Inhalt der Nacht alias, do you feel like the two things are perceived differently? Therefore, there is a different pressure on you as an artist when you make music?
I mean, I started making music when I was 17, or I mean, starting with DJing and playing around with like records at home. And for sure, I had also another two names before, but this was just like, nothing to name. So Escape to Mars was the first alias where I had the vision and the feeling, okay, I want to see what I can do with this, because I really felt comfortable with making music, and I enjoyed it a lot and had so much fun. And also from the beginning, I had the luck that it was really, everything went really quick. So I had also my first gigs was really quick at nice clubs, and I had nice parties also with this alias already. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. But after several years, I had the feeling that how can I say that I lost my roots, and I lost also. I didn't felt connected anymore to the sound which I made there, and also to the name and everything, because I come from rock music, so I always listened a lot of rock music. For sure, I had also parts where I listened like hip hop and everything, but it always come back to my rock stuff. So I felt a little bit disconnected from this, and also I had the feeling that I made everything what I can do in sound with this alias. So I was somehow in the end of this alias, you know. So I was a little bit bored, and I also wanted to go a little bit more back to my roots, and also be able to make what I want in music, you know. So because I had the feeling with Escape to Mars, people were expecting one type of sound always from me, like the spacey universe. Exactly, yeah. Which not means that I don't want to make trippy music now if I want, but you know, now I can more easily decide it, you know, if I want to do it or not, without thinking if it fits my alias. Because Inhalt der Nacht is, for sure, I started with more completely EBM influenced techno and rough techno, but at the moment I also go backwards to different stuff, or not saying backwards. I mean, for me it's not going backwards, but at the moment I'm doing more loopy stuff again, which is in the direction of this Birmingham sound, for example, which I'm getting really crazy about right now. Like all the Surgeon Regis stuff is I don't know, I fall totally in love with this right now.
It's special. So there is something interesting in the groove, the way the groove was made from Surgeon.
Totally. And it's also really nice that that the music is so rough and cold somehow, but still so warm from the sound quality, and so beautiful from all the elements which are inside. So I'm quite impressed by this right now. So yeah, but this is what I meant, like with Escape to Mars, I limited myself for my feelings too much. So I had the feeling, okay, now it's time to make a new step and go on with which maybe I will also do another alias, you know. I don't know. It's just I want to be a free person, and I want to do whatever I want. So I want to do.
And I have some follow-up questions on your musical direction evolution. But first of all, like I wanted to ask, when you moved from Escape to Mars to the new alias, what was one negative part of it? Did you find it hard to then, let's say, start from scratch?
I actually, for sure, it was hard because I already put a lot of work into the alias before, and it was a hard decision, or I thought about a lot if it's the right idea, and I don't know. But in the end, I have to say it was more really nice, and I was really happy to feel this kind of freedom, you know. I was sitting at home because during this time I didn't have a studio somewhere. I was producing music only on my computer at home. And I was sitting at home, and I always remember this. when I started to make a new project on Ableton, and I felt so free that it just came out, you know. And from this moment on, I feel like, okay, it was definitely the right decision, because before I had always like, okay, yeah, it's a nice track, but I already made something similar, and I was a lot times really bored.
Yeah.
So I was actually really happy. So I can see so many bad moments from this. I mean, for sure, it's a lot of work, you know.
Yeah.
Because also when you really want to keep it going and want to push it without any strange, I don't know, ways, you know, less just going on. For sure, it's hard work. It's always hard work, and it will be never ending that it is hard work.
But then it made you more happy. It made you feel more free, so it made sense for you to make it.
Yeah, totally. I was, you know, from that moment when I was sitting on my computer and I was super happy with what is going on in Ableton, I really felt like, okay, this is definitely the right decision, and I have to go on with this.
Yeah. And there's someone on Instagram is saying inspiration. I wanted to do something to be free, and I think people like the fact that you have been true to yourself and actually went through the hard way, but it was the right decision.
Yeah, I think this is the most important thing of being a musician, that you always try to be honest to yourself, and not you want to push an alias just to become super famous or whatever, you know. Yeah. So you never know if it will be famous, or if there are people which like the style of music what you're doing. But in the end, it doesn't matter, you know, because you have to be happy with the music you're doing. So
yeah, exactly, because otherwise it's very hard to do it long term.
Yeah, but also if there are people who like your music, there have to be always people who also don't like your music.
Yeah,
because this is what art is living out of.
Yeah, I agree. Like, and if you try to please everyone, you end up doing probably shitty music. That's why, like, I think like mainstream music, if you think about commercial music, that sounds like, even commercial music, there's more people who like it in terms of like global scale, but there's a lot of people who don't like it as well. Like, you can't do something that everybody likes.
And this is also good, you know. I think what we really need at the moment is that more critical comments. I mean, good critical comments, not just like bullshit or whatever. I mean, good critical comments is really needed in the scene and in music. I think also not only in techno. I think it's everywhere. You know, like I have the feeling that we lost a little bit the possibility or that we lost a little bit the chance to say that also we don't like it sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I think so. And it's almost like people they either don't share the feedback because they're afraid of sharing it, or if they share that, it's like they hate, it's because they hate you, whatever, you know? It's either 8 comments or very positive, but in between there is nothing. There's not like a constructive feedback that is shared.
Constructive feedback. This is what I looked for the word. Yeah, man.
Do you feel the same? Like, actually, let me ask the question another way. Do you have people that or friends that give you constructive feedback, for instance, on your music?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the biggest constructive critic is definitely in our little gang from Lebendig and all the friends which are involved also in our gang. I mean, for example, we work really closely with Frank Heise from Space Tracks. We're also sharing a studio together, so we are kind of like a big group of musicians and friends, which all are making different stuff. And for sure, sometimes it's hard to get a good way to tell the critic. The constructive critic in it, but I think every one of us is really interested in learning it, to how can you say it to your friend or to another musician what you like and what you don't like. But I think the biggest constructive critic I get from my friends, for sure. And this is what I'm also really happy about, that it's not this kind of friends which always say like, oh wow, yeah, everything what you do is super nice, because this is not what you want to hear. You want also hear if you do shit, because otherwise you don't make step forwards.
Yeah, exactly. And they like just hearing it's too nice without any specific comments or feedback is pretty much useless.
Yeah, for sure. And I also really enjoy, I had for sure also situations when I was on tour or something, and after a set there came people to me and said like, hey man, it was definitely nice to see you, but today you didn't kick me so much, you didn't I mean, you was not on your highest level today, so, and this is what I really enjoy, that people are so honest and come to me and say this, because I never will say like, hey, what the fuck, are you stupid or what? I also want to hear this, because for me a good critical comment is the same like a compliment. You just have to use it in the right way.
And it's actually like, it's tougher for the person who gives the feedback, but it's more valuable for both. I mean, it takes a bit of courage to go to someone, maybe you don't know them, and say, hey, I like your music, but you didn't play as well as usual, for example.
Yeah, exactly. And for sure, man, every musician has a good day and a bad day. I also listened to some really great DJs in a club, and I felt like, okay, wow, today is definitely not a good day for them. I think but it's also nice, because then you see that we are all still humans.
It is. I love that phrase. We all still humans. It is very important to remind ourselves.
Yeah, and it's always important to keep this, that we are not just machines. From the social networks and stuff like this.
There's a lot to speak about that. Let me ask you another question about. So you self-released the first EP. As Inhalt der Nacht, and do you think that was a successful EP? Like, in your way of whatever is your way to define success? Are you happy with the first EP?
Yeah, I mean, I was back in the days quite happy how everything went. It was also really quick that, for example, Dax J, he played my tracks really since the beginning. Actually, one of my first tracks he played nearly all the times and stuff like this, and so I was really happy about it, for sure. I mean, when I listen it now, I also see like, okay, this and this I will definitely do like this again. I would change it and I would do it differently, but I'm still super happy how everything went, and I think everything was still a good decision.
Yeah. Was it so Dax J played your track out and that perhaps helped people know your music? Do you send him the promo, or how did he find the music?
Yeah, I think I sent him a few tracks, and also after a while we had a email contact and stuff like this. So I always sent him a few tracks, and then there was the situation that he played in Berghain.
Yeah.
And he played Lichter. This was, I think, the third track or something which I released back there. And then I asked him on email like, hey, what do you think about if I just send you tracks for Monom Black? And he was totally open for it. I mean, he's also a super chilled guy.
Yeah.
So I think he's always also super open for everything. It just has to have like quality, in a way.
Yeah.
And
it was And that was 2017. What year was that, or earlier than that?
Something like this, 2017 or beginning 2018.
Yeah. A few years ago. And so let's stay with the label question. So you released on, of course, you have your label. You released on other people's labels. Monom Black is a very good example. What is important from an artist's perspective when you look at which labels you would like to release? How do you choose which labels you want to collaborate with?
I mean, first of all, for sure, you have to find out which is the music you really love, and which label is releasing this kind of music, for sure. But at the moment, I have to say that there is I keep definitely more an eye on releasing my tracks on my own label, because I feel most free when I release it on my label, because I can release whatever I want. So I don't have to go in a direction of any other labels or something. But I think you just have to check if you feel comfortable with what the label where you want to release on is doing. And also there's, I think, two types of labels. There's like the label where you just release on and you becoming a catalog number of this label.
Right.
Or for example, in Lebendig, we are not looking for releasing as many artists as we can. We are more like an intimate group of friends, and we don't have so many musical rules, as I can say it like this. I mean, I don't go to my friends and say like, okay, I want this and this track now from you. It's more that they show me the tracks and I tell them like, okay, yeah, this is definitely something what we can release there, you know. So I try to give them as much open space for music directions as I can.
Yeah. So the second type is basically a label that works and focuses on the artist more, and then trusts the artist that they're gonna do the music a certain way, and it becomes. And I think that the good thing about that is that you end up becoming like a group of people who support each other, share feedback with each other, you support each other releases, and you grow together. Like that's the good thing.
I think it's really nice. Or what I really enjoy with Lebendig is that I'm there to support my friends, and I'm also be able to watch them growing, you know.
Right.
So I don't have like 100 artists released on my label, and at some point I even don't know them personally, and this is what I keep in focus on it, that I always keep the friend base in the front, and then we can see if the music part is also fitting.
Yeah, and there's another question I have, like most of the artists that I know have their own label, and you included. So Lebendig is basically like your own platform. Do you think for an artist now it's necessary to have a label to grow? Let's say he's an artist that wants to play gigs around. How important it is for them to have their own label?
I think for sure it can help you a lot to release it just on your own label, because you can just build the own story, you know. You don't have to fit in somewhere, and you don't have to change yourself to fit in somewhere. And I don't know. I don't know if it's really pushing yourself that you get gigs from it, or that you, I don't know, that you become more quickly known in the scene or something. But I say that for sure it helped me always, also with Escape to Mars, to present my music more quickly, you know, because I can release anything whenever I want.
Right.
So I really can't say if it's helping to hurry up in this process, but yeah.
It reminds me of something that I think Surgeon said in an interview. This was like an interview that I watched. It was probably for 15 years ago, and he said that I love the idea of having my label because I can release anything I want when I want it. And I even think that he said in the interview that he said if I want to release like a pigs farting and make a beat with that, I can do that because I have the freedom. He made the example to say I have the creative freedom to do that when I want it.
Yeah.
And it allows me to put the music that I want out now and not wait for someone else to.
Totally agree in this. You know, for example, right now, during the Corona time, I changed my style again because I decided, okay, this is where I'm feeling happy right now with, and I don't have to express myself because of this. You know, I don't have to tell anybody why I do this or how it become like this. I just can do it. You know.
Yeah, and I think a lot of artists that I spoke with have the same feeling because of Corona. Like I think just before Corona, a lot of playing artists, the people who gig a lot, they felt the pressure of having to create club tracks. That's what sells in this moment in history. Right? So you need to make a banger, otherwise promoters book you less. While now this year of shit, of course, of Corona, like created also the space for people to experiment and go a bit more free.
Yeah. I think this is one of the good parts of the pandemic right now. You know, that I mean, for sure, in the beginning, like last year or when all this shit started, I was also super pissed and I was sad because so many nice bookings, which I was super much looking forward to, they just got canceled. You know, and for sure, that's a really hard feeling. But now I have a feeling that it is also a good chance to finally realize again what you really like in music and which kind of style you like. Because in 2019, I had so many gigs. I played like every weekend 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So after a while, I felt like, okay, I always have to deliver now. I always have to make the people like super much dancing and going crazy and everything. But I also felt that, which I realized now, that I lost a little bit my real way, you know, of what I really like. You know, there's no
boundary or
exactly. Yeah, and this is what I really enjoy about this Corona thing right now. That I finally found out again. Okay, this is the music what I want to do now, and I think if I would be on tour all the time, I don't know if I would think like this now.
Yeah, because it's interesting because it is like we are forced to be home. There's no gigs now.
Yeah.
But I think that the beauty of it is that like it makes you understand the direction you wanna take with your music. Yeah, it is. I wanted to ask you something about you're resident of few parties, of course, Griessmühle in Berlin, and a few clubs actually, and in Tbilisi, Khidi, and of course Sonne in Munich, if I pronounce Sonne correctly.
Sonne, yeah, exactly.
Sonne. And how did you end up being a resident for these 3 clubs?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I mean, being a resident in Berlin is I think something what was a question of time somehow. But what I was more surprised that I become resident outside of Berlin. Yeah, for example, in Rote Sonne, it happened like this that we got booked there, and since the beginning, it was always a really, really nice connection. We had always super much fun we did some Lebendig parties there, even like crazy weekender parties, and all those parties were super crazy, and all of us, we didn't expect it from Munich, because Munich has a little bit this.
It's a posh city.
I mean, for sure, part wise, it is a little posh city, but what Rote Sonne showed me, that there is like this little this little island inside of the city, which is filled with so many good people and
underground techno lovers, probably.
Definitely, they're so hungry for good music and good techno parties, and I mean, it was a good friendship from the beginning, and after a while they asked me if I'm interested, because I always play like 3, 4, 5 times in a year there, so it just makes sense
to have you in the
become a resident there. And this is also what I'm mostly proud of, that I become a resident in Khidi in Tbilisi, because it was a little, I don't know, magic story somehow. It was I got booked there the first time, and before I played there, so many friends, DJ friends, which played there already, they always told me like, yeah, man, you have to go to Tbilisi. It's so crazy. And after a while, I was like, yeah, it's a little bit like, it feels a little bit overrated what you say. But then I got my first booking there in Khidi as well. And from the first night on, I don't know, it was
special.
Definitely, it was really special. And I felt like, okay, this is the place where and why I make music, It's I don't know, I really love the city. I love the people there. For sure, they have hard situations still, because political wise there's so many shit going on, but the young generation is making really beautiful stuff out of it. They fight for the freedom there, and they really enjoy it. It's not like in Berlin at the moment. It's like everybody is, for them, it's, of course they can go out every weekend and have a party, but for them in Tbilisi, it's not sure, So they go there after a hard week of work, and they go there into the club, and they totally lost everything. They just dance hours and hours and hours, and this is really beautiful. And then I played there. The first time was also closing directly, and I played 8 hours, and this was really, really nice. And after the second time, I played like 15 hours closing.
Long.
Really, really long, but it was so crazy, because nobody went out of the floor, and was just unreal somehow, really unreal. And after this day, they asked me, hey, we feel really connected to you, and we would love to have you as a resident here. And I was super happy, because after playing 2 times in the club, getting the request of being a resident, it's wow, what an honor for me, and I definitely keep it as a big honor to be a resident there, because it's always also really inspiring me. And I'm always try to keep a big respect for the scene there, also for the newcomers, or for not even newcomers. They do music sometimes more years than I do it, but for the musicians who now grow up there career wise, I have big respect, because there's so much quality in the stuff. And
they love, they're very respectful of the scene, and they love the dancing. They love it's something like I was in Georgia maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I remember pretty much everybody on the dance floor knew the names of the tracks they played. That it's something that I think the other only place in the world where I found the same thing was Birmingham. So it was interesting.
Okay.
Everybody's like super into music. And I think that there's a lot of people connected on Instagram from Georgia because there's a lot of heart.
Nice. Hello, guys from Tbilisi, from Georgia.
Shout out for the Tbilisian and the Georgian friends connected.
Yeah, exactly.
So Chris, so one other question that I had for you was your collaboration with Peril Tham Ashirate, and so they're all like part of your crew, I understand, right? So were you friend with them before music? Like, are they, some of them at least, your old school friends, like from before your music, or you became friends because of music?
No, I mean with Peril and Tom and Virgil and Hackepeter. This is how you pronounce HKKPGR.
Wow.
I become friends because of the label, because I just took them to the label and we spent more and more time together. I mean, Virgil and Tom, they was born in Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, Peril, he just moved to Berlin like 1.5 years ago, if I say it right. So since then, we're spending a lot of times together, and they also become somehow my best friends, because we're sharing everything together. It's like we have daily contact, we write messages, we have phone calls, and we share music together. If someone finds a new artist, and we put this into our group, and the only one which I know also a little bit longer now is Parallax. Exactly, yeah, because I released Parallax on my old label already, on Modul as Escape to Mars. I released his first 2 EPs, and I think Jonas I know now, a couple of more years definitely. I think it's 5 years already.
Jonas is a Parallax.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a good segue because I think both you and Parallax played in Cuba.
Yeah. It's
a magic place. Interesting magic place.
It's something different as well. It's also something what you don't can describe when you wasn't there. So
yeah. I got very lucky because I played in just before COVID. I played in Cuba as well, and with pretty much the same people, same crew.
Okay.
So I wanted
with Julio also, and
Julio wasn't there. I think Julio is in Germany now, or
He's always changing because he has his company, his dance company. He has here in Germany, but his family comes from Cuba.
Yes, and I don't know personally Julio. I know Jorge, who plays under the name Aregone, and a few of the other folks over there. And it's amazing. Like, first of all, the place is beautiful. It's incredible. But the vibe as well, it's very nice. They have they make these huge raves in warehouses. Beautiful. So the interesting thing is, I read that you did a theater play. So you did a theater score in Havana.
Yeah, exactly.
And tell us more about that.
Yeah, this was I know Julio from Bochum.
Germany,
Bochum is a city in the west side of Germany, and I know Julio from there, from a little club, and after a while he asked me to do this soundtrack for a theater piece for him in Cuba. And I was really shocked because I never had experiences in playing a live set or making music for a dance piece in a theater. It's like I was a little bit afraid if I was able to do it, but on the same side, totally happy for this chance, because I'm always open for new experiences as well. So. So he invited me to come to Cuba I stayed there like 3 weeks or something. Yeah. And I worked in the dance school there. So I did go every day to the dance school where the dancers of the piece were trying to learn the choreography and the moves and everything.
That's amazing.
And I was sitting in the back of this room with my little table, and I tried to make the sound of it. I watched them always, and I tried to let the music fit the whole piece. Yeah.
Interesting. How much? So, tell us more about like the process of creating the score. So, was there? I imagine there was a choreographer that was directing the dancers. Did the dancers or the choreographer give you some input or specific instructions to make the score, or it was more like improvising and then trying to?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, he gave me a little briefing about like, okay, this is the story of the piece, but I didn't saw any movements from it, because also they created the choreography on the same time I created the sound.
Right.
So this was really nice, because so we could we was able to connect completely together. That's why I also went there every day to
Work
grow, to grow together and everything. So it was somehow really spontaneously, actually. So I didn't prepare anything. I just went there with my laptop and some MIDI controllers, and I tried to produce everything and to be able to play it afterwards also, because I never played a live set. And
Wow.
that was really hard, because also it was super hot during this time there. I was so much sweating, like this. I'm this German guy who's sweating directly when it gets above 25 degrees, So I was standing there with 36 degrees and totally wet, trying to make this music always. It was funny, but it was a nice challenge, and it was a beautiful experience, because it was also in the National Theater of Cuba. It's such a nice building, and it's really impressive when you see your name on the program window,
Yeah.
So there was a program window in front of the building, and then you see like, okay, wow, Danza Compañía de Cuba, and then Inhalt der Nacht. It's really crazy.
That's amazing. It's like, I don't know how many people have had the same opportunity. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it also started to grow my interest in making something like this. Since then, I'm really interested to also make music outside of the club situation.
Yeah. And I want to ask you about that, because I read that you were working on something for Germany, similar thing in Germany.
Yeah,
I think
also with Julio.
With Julio. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's Bochum as well?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. So did you do it in the end, or is it something in the middle?
Yeah, no, we did it here. We did he did like a little theater piece tour. So we didn't stay in one city. We traveled around Germany to different theaters, and even also in Belgium. And we created the same thing, like not the same piece, but like he's doing the choreograph stuff, and I was creating with another musician together. Yeah, he was also so cool, a really really nice musician. So it was definitely a nice experience as well.
Mm-hmm. It seems like it triggered something in you, like an inspiration for sure, but also like you might have found another way for you to create a different kind of music, completely different. Perhaps at some point it's going to become another alias.
I don't know if I do it under another alias, but I'm definitely do something like this again. Maybe also I'm thinking about to create my own piece from the beginning, like also the dance part and the music part. So who knows? I don't know. Maybe.
Not. Yeah. Do you have to adapt much of because you created as Inhalt der Nacht, so did you adapt a lot of the music or actually, was the music very different from your normal club stuff?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was completely different. I even put in like nature sounds and real instrument sounds, like real bongos and harps and everything, and violins and stuff like this. So it's definitely completely different to the stuff I do for the club. Yeah.
Very interesting. And there's Amaya, another friend from Cuba, is actually saying it was amazing.
Yeah, Amaya. Yeah, he's part of the crew also. She's doing also the
artworks. Yeah,
exactly, the artworks for the Rusty Nails party.
Yeah, I know her well. I mean, I stayed at their place when I went to Cuba. So, and she's in Berlin now.
Yeah, she moved.
Amaya. She moved here. An amazing artist, also, like graphic designer. Really,
yeah, totally.
Recommended. Yeah.
Crazy interesting stuff.
Crazy interesting stuff. Very true. Yes.
Yeah.
One thing. Let's talk about Berlin, the city where you are born, right?
Exactly.
Born, yeah. And so I read in another interview that you mentioned that sometimes people forget what the reason behind going to a club, especially in the underground scene, in techno. What would you change in the current music scene? And I'm talking about pre-COVID, because now everything is online.
Okay.
So there's no clubs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so much stuff going not really well in our scene at the moment, and also before COVID already. For example, that people take it so normal that they have open clubs every weekend, so they just go there and get high and just staying on the smartphone always, But also I see so many other artists. I don't know. They act like not real. They just take anything from this techno scene now to make a brand and to show how cool they are or whatever. And this is what I really see as a difficult thing for the scene, because they are even sometimes not focused on making music. They just want to be famous, and this is what I really feel sad about right now, that this part becomes more and more, that it's not important to make nice or good quality music, that instead of, I mean, it's more important, or it feels like it's more important to have a big Instagram account right now.
An Instagram feed.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what I really hope this will be changed again, because otherwise, I don't know, it's just like a big tumor from the scene, which makes everything super unhealthy and super elitaire and stuff like this.
I think it's very unhealthy for at least two reasons. Because first of all, because it separates us as human. We're discussing about this a little bit before we started the live, but it makes people feel envious. Like if you are going to a club and I don't know, whatever, there's 30 people, you might enjoy the club, but then it's not Instagrammable, if that makes sense, right? You cannot put a picture with you with 30 people, because you think, oh fuck, I'm gonna be judged as being not cool enough, because I only see pictures of people who are having so much fun, having cocktails.
Man, and this is so shit, This is why I should take my phone always to the party, It should be different, It should be you go to the party and just leave your fucking phone inside there, because you are there where you want to be, and not why you want to show everybody that you are on a party now and, oh wow, I'm so cool, I just made it into Berghain and stuff like this, why you want to share this with social network, nobody is interested in this, or nobody should be interested in this, So I really hope this will change, that that social network is not becoming more and more important. And also I really hope this, because then also it will change the situation of that there are too many artists in the scene which not should be on this level where they are just because of having a big Instagram account, you know.
Yeah.
It should be like this, hey man, cool that you have a big Instagram account, but can you show me also a good track of yourself? And
where is the music?
Yeah, where's the music, you know? And yeah, I really hope this will be changed.
I think techno is trending in a lot of ways now. So the DJs are the new rock stars. So there is a lot of I think inflation. I think there's a lot of people who get, as you said, like for the wrong reasons. They get because it's cool. They want to show that they go to that kind of whatever techno party because that now is cool, it's trending. I think eventually this is gonna go away. I think it's gonna correct at some point.
I really hope.
Yeah.
I told you this before we go live. I really hope that during the pandemic, all the people getting so much overloaded right now from being on a smartphone and watching some others Instagram things, and I hope that people get so much overloaded from this, that from the moment on when everything will be coming normal again, that that Instagram is becoming like a little breakdown, and it's not so interesting anymore because everything what you can see you saw already. So
yeah, exactly.
It's just that you see from week to week more selfies from people and more good lives from people, you know.
Less selfies of people like on the beach.
Yeah, man. Share music, not selfies.
Music. The crazy thing is that like it is much harder. Like when you post a selfie, on average, the selfie gets much more interactions, likes, engagement than any music. Because the video now doesn't work that well with the algorithm of Instagram, but it makes it so hard for a lot of artists. Like you might just want to share your music, but then you think, okay, I share a picture of me in the bath, and I get 200 people to like it, and then I can tag a track with that. Or I share my music, and then I have, I don't know, whatever, 100 people. It's enough. And then you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna put a picture of me in the bath.
Yeah. I think this point we have to go on all together. You know, all the musicians or artists also from other art directions, like even also painters and tattoo artists and whatever. I think we have to take the situation all together and not posting too many selfies anymore and pictures from us, and try to teach the social media network in hey, we're stopping this now, and because we don't want to show only selfies of us, and we don't want you to like just selfies more than when we post music, you know. So I think alone you can't manage this because it's too big right now. But I think imagine all big artists from one day to another, they stop posting pictures of themselves and start posting only music or music related things. I think you can also teach the Instagram world in like, okay, wow, they stop doing this, and you get more attention on the normal things again, you know. But for sure, when more and more people post selfies, then of course all the others will like the selfies more instead of music related things or art related things or whatever.
Yeah, and perhaps finding alternative forums or social media, alternative media, not social media perhaps, but alternative media for people to share stuff. For example, whatever, you know, it could be like a email or like a closed Facebook group where people share with each other the music. That could be another option.
Yeah, I think there are so many good options. There are even also different websites where you can have more like a base, like MySpace, for example, you know, where you can see all important informations from the artist. You see one picture maybe, and then everything what comes new is new music or tour updates or whatever. I think
Yep.
there are so many websites right now where you can do it, but they are not so famous like Facebook or Instagram.
It's very hard because then even like it's almost like you need to go against a wave because the network is only on Facebook. So even now, when you share stuff, when you share links on Facebook, your engagement drops. So it's very hard to move people from the platform to an alternative.
Yeah.
Bandcamp is doing a reasonably good job in helping people discover music.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to find someone if you don't know them before, right? It's almost
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah, this is what I mean. You know, it has to be a big impact from a lot of people which do a new step from one day to another. And I think then it will work, but I just hope that it will happen in the future. Like let's see, you know. But I see it also, you know, you can make your little steps in this if you start in your group. For example, in Lebendig, we start to go backwards from this, you know, we start to not posting something if it's not necessary. We only post something if we have an update. For example, like today, I post that we have this interview here and stuff like this, and I posted the little video you created. I think when more and more people go back from this thing or use Instagram and Facebook different, I think maybe we can be on a good way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I mean, it is hard, but I think, as you said, like if we work together, we find ways. Like we always find ways. And I'm gonna use these changes as a topic to move to the next question that I wanted to ask you.
Berlin. Wait, can I just pick up a new beer?
Of course, go for it.
1 second. I'm here in a second.
I get a club mate. You're back in a second.
So
we're back. Cheers, man. Samate.
Cheers, man. I have Schultheiß.
Yeah. What is it? Beer? Okay, nice.
It's like an original Berlin beer.
I think I know this one. Yeah. Yeah. Pilsner. Yeah.
Yeah. Schultheiß Pilsner. One of the best.
Guys. Cheers. One of the best. Buy the beer.
Yeah.
And Chris, so the one thing about Berlin, from personal experience, I came here for the first time, I think in 2012. So it was 9 years ago, and it was a very different city. Like I came here every year for like 2 or 3 times at least, going to clubs and visiting friends and all that kind of stuff. And one thing that is crazy in the changes is that the price of rent is much higher. It's almost unbelievable. And I remember 2 years ago, 2018, when I came here, and then everybody was really angry at expats. So people were coming from outside, and the rationale seems to be that the price in Berlin, in Friedrichshain, for example, Kreuzberg, it became so high, so big, that is almost unsustainable. It is unsustainable for all the locals. And I know you've been also sharing these thoughts in another interview. You were saying that you see very often in Berlin, buildings are taken down and there is a new massive building, a shopping center, a mall being created. This is a huge problem for people who are not here. They can't understand it. It's fucking hard to make it work here for this reason. Very hard to find a house. It makes the market so complicated, very, very, scammy as well. Have you thought about what could be a way for people in the artist community or beyond to make it work, or to make a change in Berlin, to bring back a bit of the sustainability in terms of living?
Oof. Yeah,
it's a hard question.
it's definitely a hard question because, I always feel a little bit sad about the changings in the city right now, because it's for sure. I mean, I love Berlin, and I will never stop loving it because it's my hometown, and I have all of my friends here and stuff like this, my family, and but of course I'm seeing all the changings, and I'm also I don't know what to do, you know, because the industry of the renting shit and everything it's so strong and so big, and I actually don't know how to change this, you know, because there are so many demonstrations going on about this, and so many little groups and collectives going together and try to make like big impacts and everything. I mean, they tried everything, and still the lobby of this shit is so good, so big and so heavy that nothing changed, you know. I mean, at the moment we have this Mietendeckel thing,
rental cap,
rental cap, but you know, still it doesn't work, because now you have the situation that house owners from Berlin, they don't put new flats into, for example, Immobilien Scout or something, you know. So there are no flats in the internet what you can rent, and I don't know. It's difficult to find a solution for this. It's difficult to find a way to break this down. I think the only people who really can do something out of it is the people from the city. If they stop, exactly. If the government doesn't allow anymore to all this investors and everything to come here and making money, I think then it can be changed. But I don't know. I don't know if we can, or if we are able to change something in it, you know.
Probably not us too. No. But I think
maybe
it is, maybe one day. But
hopefully.
But it is incredibly hard, like much harder than I expected. So sorry for all the people who are struggling as well in Berlin. It is a felt problem.
I'm super sorry for it, you know. It's like and I'm also super sorry for all the original Berlin people which are born here. For example, the people who was born in Prenzlauer Berg. For example, my family also comes from Prenzlauer Berg. And so many other people which I know who come from there, they are not able to pay the rents there anymore. Right. You know, imagine you are like in the 70s of your life, and then you get a letter that you have to move out because the house is sold to someone else, and the renting costs are exploding to this and this.
Fucking crazy.
I don't know. It's fucking hard, you know, and I can't imagine how hard it is, but I really wish I would be able to stop this, you know, and to go to make everything a little bit normal again. And also, we don't need more shopping centers here in Berlin. You know, we have so many shopping centers here in Berlin, and even the new one in Warschauer Straße.
Yeah, the huge one.
It's so
next
huge. And it's just 3 stations far from Alexanderplatz, where you can buy everything. And I don't get why they built another shopping center there. But the good thing is that the shopping center isn't working. You know, it makes more debts every month that instead of making money. So I don't know, man.
It really feels like a massive bubble as well. Like I come from London. I lived in London for 8 years. It's the same thing.
All big cities, I think.
All big cities,
you know. All big cities are fucked with this gentrification shit. You know. Also, when you look at New York or also upcoming cities, you know, like I don't know. I think also Tbilisi is such an interesting city, but I see also the danger there. That you know, people, some investors, they come there and they see how beautiful the city is and how interesting it is also for people outside from Tbilisi. And I don't know. I really hope that Tbilisi will stay away from this gentrification shit. But
I hope so too. We got a lot of messages on Instagram of people saying, "Yeah, I'm from New York." It's the same.
Hi to New York.
I to New York. And I think the next one up after Tbilisi is Kiev. Like there is a danger of that.
Yeah. I think all the old cities which has this old beautiful buildings, and which are more and more concentrating people or young people in the center. I think those cities are really in danger of all the investor stuff.
Very hard. And for all the people connected, I'm going to ask a couple of questions more to Chris. But if you have questions, type them in Facebook, possibly, if not on Instagram. And we're going to ask them to Chris in a second. Chris, personal question, kind of. What is your favorite abandoned place in Berlin? I have if you have any suggestions.
Yeah, I mean, if I say this now,
okay,
maybe it will be not abandoned now. No, but I'm joking. But there are so many nice places in Berlin. What I now at the moment really enjoy is the area around Rummelsburg, where the big industry is and everything, because there you have the feeling that the gentrification is not so high at the moment, and there's more like big industry places and stuff like this. There's also the Funkhaus, and Funkhaus is still the same nearly like it was some years ago. For sure, things are changing there as well, but this is what I really enjoy at the moment, because you can go there, enjoy the water side of Berlin, like the Spree is going there, and you can have a walk on the water.
Where Monom is, the club. Also.
Yeah, exactly. But also I really enjoy just walking around in Treptower Park, because it's just a beautiful park in the middle of the city. And if you want to see like really abandoned places, I mean, it also gets less and less, because so many big industry places, for example, in Köpenick, there was so many empty industry fabric places, but now investors come there and bought the places, and they try to build in flats in there, and they rent it out, and it's getting less, definitely, but there are still a few places which are really nice, but it's more
in the outskirts.
Exactly, in the outside of Berlin. But you just have to find it out. You just have to go to Google, and you have to look a little bit, or have to search a little bit in there, and then you will definitely find something.
You just have to find it out and don't tell anyone, otherwise it becomes
Don't make any Instagram.
Don't post your Instagram. No location. So let me ask you a question about, you mentioned you're getting inspired by the Birmingham music, the old Birmingham music from Regis, I guess. Surgeon, you mentioned. Are there new producers that are making that kind of music that you are listening to in particular?
I mean, I try to find new music also, which is in the direction of this kind of style, but I have the feeling that this Birmingham style is not so popular or something in the new scene, I can say. There's just like this guy from Bare Hands is the label, and I don't know if I say it right, but it's SED VS, so Zedas or Zevs. I don't know how to say it, but he's doing music in the direction of this Regis style, which I really enjoy.
I'm gonna check them out.
Yeah, Bare Hands. It's also a really nice label.
Bare Hands. Very, very cool. Yeah.
But I actually don't get so many newcomers, or I don't found so many newcomers which doing this type of music. So if there are newcomers right now which are doing this Birmingham sound, send it to me. I want to play it.
Send it out. I want to hear it too. I think now that I'm getting a lot of promos, and I would say 80% are like the banging rave techno.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of the trending.
Yeah, but you know, it's like this is also one reason why I wanted to change my style again, because I don't know, I was so bored of of all this
Too much
stuff. Yeah, it was definitely too much. You know, it was like all the promos you get and all the releases you checked out, which come out last year. I had the feeling. I mean, 80% of them, for sure, in my opinion, sounded the same. You know, it was always like the super hard kick drums, and then it comes a lead bass line, you know, like this.
Yeah.
And
then drops.
I mean, for sure, there are nice tracks still, but I don't know. I get too bored of it, and I can enjoy it anymore. It's
yeah. I agree, and it's not that they're not nice tracks. Is that like if you're listening always to the same things, or you're getting a 50 CS70 piece of music in promo, or you're listening on Bandcamp, but it's always similar music, it loses the value.
Yeah, and also the feelings, you know, the emotions. I had the feeling that the music is only produced because it is this what all the people think this is what you need to become famous, to do a track like this, you know. But I don't know, there's so less emotions and feelings inside there. And this is what I really feel sad about the techno music, that I don't know, that there is not so many risks anymore in there, you know, because
variety as well.
Nobody is taking a risk anymore to release something what maybe no people wants to hear, you know.
Yeah.
So
and it's almost like a self-reinforcing cycle. Also, like the premiere channels that before were very diverse, there was a lot of diversification. Now, if you do the banging rave techno, it's super easy to place it in a lot of premiere channels because they know that it works. They know that a lot of people are gonna stream it, download it, perhaps. If you do other stuff, especially like broken techno, it's impossible to place almost. Like there is maybe 4 channels that do that still.
Yeah.
It's a bit crazy.
Yeah.
These guys. All right, so let me ask you some of the questions from the people. I think
okay.
All right, this is interesting.
Prost, Rafa. It's Raphael Discoy from Lehmann Club in Stuttgart.
Yeah, I think I know his music as well. Yeah, British Martyr Boys, Birmingham Sound. Okay, yeah, I would define them as Birmingham Sound.
Yeah. I mean, they are the creators of the sound. Yeah, they are the owners, I think, from this type of sound, I think.
Yeah.
Because they are from Birmingham, and I think they created this type of music, you know. And I even don't think they wanted to create it, you know. They just made it, you know. And I think they don't thought, okay, man, listen, we have to do this style now. Birmingham techno is the next big thing here. I think they just just make it, and the outside world is giving the name Birmingham style, you know, to it.
That's the other interesting thing. Is like it's very easy for us as humans make the thinking in hindsight. After 20 years have gone by, 30 years have gone by, we're like, I'm sure these guys have thought that they were going to be lasting forever. Probably not.
Probably not, yeah.
Most likely not. Chris, if you were not a music producer, what job do you think you would do? This is a question from the audience.
I think maybe I would have like a really nice coffee shop, because I'm a big coffee lover, and before the music, I was working as a barista a lot. So this was my kind of passion before the music becomes so important for me. So I think maybe I would have like a coffee store somewhere here in Berlin. Or what I also really like is to work for homeless people.
Right.
I think something like social worker or so. I think I would maybe some of those two.
Yeah, there is a yeah. I think I was gonna say there is a charity that I know in London that does an amazing job, but I think it's called Beam, and they put homeless people into training. So they help them. They crowdfund money, so they help them to get access to training to get back to jobs. Amazing. Yeah,
Nice. That's cool. Nice.
I would love to find some. Yeah,
we have something similar here in Berlin. There's also a company which I mean, for sure it's super hard and it's super hard to also get from someone who don't have any papers, like to get the papers back and everything. But there's something here in Berlin also, which is called Obdachlosenhilfe, so homeless help, which are doing this. Like they take people to this thing, and they also give the chance to live there. So they get a little room there, and they have to go to the social workers and talk with them, and they try to help them to get back to the normal life. So
right, yeah, I'm gonna find out the link. I'm gonna put it in the show notes for this. And so let me ask you this question because I think it's relevant to this. If you had 1,000 euros and you were just to donate them to a charity, what charity would you pick? Could be this one or another one.
Yeah, I think I would spend it to this or to something which is refugee related, because for me in my world now, this is those are the two biggest problems right now, which we definitely need to solve somehow, because there are more and more refugees and there are more and more homeless people. So I think this is definitely something to keep an eye on and hopefully something which we can fix in the future.
Yeah, I mean, we managed to have almost to go to Mars, to colonize Mars, and I think we should sort out the problems that we have here on Earth. I think.
Yeah, exactly. This is so stupid, you know. Why we look if there is another planet where we can live on? We have here a planet, so we have to fix everything here. And man, our Earth is such a beautiful place, you know. So
exactly, yeah.
Why you want to look for something else? It's just stupid, and I think it will not happen. You know, it's like.
Yeah, I think it's time for us to solve this problem.
Yeah.
And the Berlin housing situation.
Yeah, hopefully this will be changed too. Yeah.
Yes. Going back to production, let me ask you a question. How do you deal with writer's block? So when you feel uninspired, how do you deal with that?
Oh yeah, man. I had a long period of creative blockade and of uninspiring time. Just last year, actually. And I had the feeling that it's always connected to it's a way of your brain, of your creativity, to show you, hey man, maybe you should check if you not want to change your way of making music, you know.
Yeah.
Because when you're bored, it means that you have to find out what makes you happy again. And I mean, for sure, even if you find the thing what inspires you again, you will not go every day to the studio and make a track. Yeah. Because you can't force your brain and yourself to be creative all the time. It gives always periods where you go to the studio and everything works, and it gives always periods where you go to the studio and you think like, okay, fuck, maybe I should stop making music, you know, and getting depressed and getting fucked up about this, and
yeah,
I don't know, maybe then you just you just, you know, turn your brain off and stop making music. Give yourself always the chance to
reset.
To reset and also to get inspired again, and don't be sad if not every day or not all the time is something coming out of your machines. It's just normal, and it just show you that you are still a human, and a human with soul and character. So
And the one question, so the writing block that you had last year, that was after COVID, so that was after the lockdown started, or was before?
It started also before, but I think before it was the problem that I was touring so much that I didn't had the chance to think about studio and to think about, okay, which type of music I want to create now. Or I was just super uncreative in the studio during the time when I was on tour, because you are totally focused on traveling and getting not too fucked up from the traveling and the sleeping periods and stuff like this. So I think this was the time when it started. But the biggest creative blockade I had in the beginning of Corona, where I always forced somehow myself to make a new hit, because I had the feeling that I have the pressure. Okay, now when we don't have any gigs, I have to do like a big hit that I don't get forgotten and everything. So I was a little bit afraid about this. And then the moment when I fall in love with this other styles like Birmingham and Regis and everything, I don't know, I felt like, okay, now the blockade is completely away, and I'm just sitting in the studio, and even if I don't make a track ready right now, but I'm just happy to be there in my studio with my machines, and I'm enjoying just patching on my modular system and being on my analog rhythm. So I'm just enjoying this, and if a track comes out, I'm happy. But if not, it's totally okay,
And you're happy anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it should be totally okay that an artist also has a period where maybe you don't release an EP or something in 1 year, Maybe you don't release anything in 1 year, but it should be okay, It should be, you should be not forgotten just because of this, because it's also always hard work for to be in this creative mood and everything.
Takes a lot of energy to
definitely. Which is also nice, but
and that's another problem that I think I've seen a lot of artists being challenged with, which is, if you think about Spotify or the social media, how it works, they want creators, artists included, to create content constantly. So sometimes people feel forced to have to put out stuff every month. They decide the frequency every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, even if when they feel forced about that, and then the result is that they burn out because you're trying to do something that is not, it doesn't feel natural, and you're doing something that is almost like mechanical and forced. When it comes out.
And artists should not support this, because you as an artist, you should decide when you want to release something and when not. I don't want to release anything which I'm not happy with anymore, so I don't want to force myself anymore. And if I don't release an EP in 1 or 2 years, then fuck it. It is like this, So, but if I'm happy with the music I release, I think all the other people will enjoy this much more,
I think so.
Quality over quantity.
It comes out. I think it comes out when you make the music. If it's like true to you and you are happy. But also, you're more proud of sharing it, so it doesn't feel like forced.
Yeah, and also, it's because of this pressure that there's so much music released every day. We totally lose the chance to let a track grow, because I mean, when you look back on the 90s, there are tracks which are still played now just because of we don't have this overhyped pressure machine from the streaming platforms or the social networks, you know.
Yeah.
So, and this is what I really take also for myself, you know, that I had to learn it for sure. I think it's also just normal because I'm still super young. I'm 28 now, and I have to learn a lot. And I always try to not follow those rules, like unofficial rules or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's I agree with you. I think it's a good way. Like, you know, in like if you asked me maybe 12 months ago, maybe a year or 2 years ago, I was like, no, an artist has to produce like so much constantly and put out stuff.
Yeah.
But I realized that I think it's very personal. Like, and if you feel like you don't want to release stuff, like fuck every rule, you know.
Yeah, and also, I mean, when I look on myself, and I really enjoy an artist, and for example, I found out a really nice release, and I totally fall in love with this release, and I really enjoy also the waiting time of, hey, okay, when is the artist releasing something, you know? But if the artist, which I really enjoy then, is releasing every month something, after a while I would think like, okay, wow, okay, he released again something.
Yeah.
Okay, and wow, there's again something, and this will be too much for me, definitely. So I'm also enjoying the time of waiting, and then listen all the old stuff of the artist. And then until the time he released a new stuff, I'm super happy, you know. Then you go directly to the record store and buy the record, and you listen to the record 10 times and even more, and you enjoy it so much. And then it's okay again, yeah. Then you wait again for the next
one, yeah.
Yeah, which can be in 1 year, in 2 years, whatever.
Yeah. And someone is also saying the music market and streaming platform are not paying artists enough. That's not the incentive for people to create more. But I agree with you. I think sometimes it's too much. If it feels too much, it's probably too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris, I'm gonna ask you the last quick questions, and then we'll wrap up.
Okay.
Okay. So, question from people: do you think Tbilisi scene is more genuine than Berlin now, and it might become the next Berlin in 4 or 5 years?
I hope it will not. I hope it will not become the next Berlin, because for sure, outside of Berlin, the Berlin scene always sounds so holy and nice, and wow, we have a good scene here. But don't believe in anything what you hear about Berlin, you know, because the Berlin scene has massive problems, like before the pandemic.
Of course.
And that's why I say, okay, I really don't hope that Tbilisi will become the next Berlin. I just hope that Tbilisi will make it better in some points than Berlin right now, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I hope that Berlin becomes more like Tbilisi now, you know? So that Berlin takes steps backwards, and not just, you know, overhyping everything right now, you know, because I mean,
need that.
it's not a good way now, you know, because how long you can go on with this now, you know, in Berlin. So I don't think like the situation now will not survive so many years.
Yeah, it's probably not sustainable. It's an oversaturated market. And it's becoming like trendy, so people are like,
And what I found most is that, you know, that people and artists should enjoy much more again to be part of the music scene here, and not just taking the possibility of presenting themselves and, you know, just get fucked or something.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's a sign of like things not going that well if like artists are just coming to play and they finish playing and they're like off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also don't like, when people play in Berlin and then they try to promote this thing that they play in Berlin. It's so good and so big that they play in Berlin. And then in the end they play maybe at a little party and was nothing really so big how they describe it on the internet. They make things bigger than they are, and this is what in Berlin happens a lot. And because of this, people forget what or how it should be in normal ways.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's another question from the audience, which is, do you think or hope that techno will revert to be punk and being underground again, perhaps like the underground resistance in the very early days, probably 30 years ago now?
I think it's really hard to bring techno back to the underground, because electronic music is a new type of music which just is born now, and it's always growing and growing and growing. So I think it's really hard to bring it back to the underground. But I hope that, as I said before, that we all are able to handle it in a more healthy way again.
Yeah, I like the sustainability is the important thing.
Yeah, and not overhype everything what comes out,
Yeah. Chris, it has been super interesting. I'm going to ask you the two last questions that we always ask to every guest. Who is a guest that you think we should really speak with, and why?
Good question. I think there are many artists, but for me, the artists who maybe should have the most interesting answers could be Ancient Methods.
Oh yeah,
because he I think he has a good viewing and a good way how to handle everything. So I think if he is talking about stuff, we all can learn something from it.
Yeah, he's a great person, and I love his music personally. I really like the music. Great
really inspiring.
Really inspiring, yes. And what question would you like us to ask the next guest without knowing who they're going to be?
What again? Sorry.
What question would you like us or me to ask the next guest that we have on the show?
I think what's most interesting to hear is how they see the problems of the scene. Like, I think this is really good if you discuss this with all the artists which come next to your show. So I think it's good to let the words out about our problems in the scene. To not only talk about the positive sides about everything. And I think it's now at the moment more important than ever to talk about the problems of our scene and how we can solve them in the future.
I agree. And this has been a super interesting way to do it. I think it is the only way we can change stuff is to start with discussion.
And I think now we have the time to talk about this and to find ways to fix problems and to overthink maybe some ways how everything is going on right now.
Yeah, to act as a community,
exactly.
A network.
Again, more like community, because at the moment we are not a real big community, because at the moment the techno scene is led by egoism and self-promoting.
Yeah. Yes. And there is a question from the previous guest, Electric Indigo, who was asking, what is your current favorite gear for production?
My current favorite gear is the Verbos complex oscillator, because I just got myself
it's a model.
It's a model, yeah, exactly. And I think at the moment, I love this module more than everything else because you can do everything with it, and it just sounds so tight and so rough. And yeah, I just love it. Verbos Complex Oscillator.
Nice. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Chris, this has been great. A pleasure to have you on the show to speak.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for accepting. There is a lot of people were saying so true words. Love from Argentina, Chile, Tbilisi, of course.
Crazy.
Germany. There is Taranto, Italy. So there is
all around the world.
So all around the world, yes.
And I hope at one point we can be all together again.
Yes. Likewise, guys, stay safe. We're gonna be back all together on the dance floor.
Take care and make music. Good music. Stop posting selfies.
Agreed.
Okay, man. Then
thank you, guys.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for tuning in, and see you soon. Ciao.
Hello, this is Joseph again. If you made it this far into the podcast, we would love to hear your feedback, and you can leave any comments anonymously or with your name, and also suggest whom we should interview next via the link bit.ly/HOS_feedback. Basically, bit.ly HOS_feedback. If you're a creator or work in music, you can also check our website www.homeofsound.co.uk for on-demand masterclasses with creators such as Ansom, Scarameria, François X, Swarm Intelligence, Freddy K, Face Fatal, Vijay Martinovna, Malika Maria, Lag, VSK, Romek, Manny D, Arjun Bagale, and many, many more. And again, thank you for listening, engaging, and being with us home. Until next time.